20 years ago is when I started trying to sell my art. And then I went full-time around 12 years ago. And ever since, I've been supporting myself on it. So I feel really fortunate and lucky as an artist. But it isn't all luck that has got me here. It's actually some pivotal decisions that I made in my business. And some of the years in my business, I've even hit 6 figures. So you can make a good living as a professional artist. I work from home and I do art fairs all around the Midwest. I even had my own art gallery for several years. So in this video, I want to share with you 5 of the things that I wish I'd done sooner. I wasted so much time, like so much more time than I should have, trying different revenue streams at the beginning of my business, and so many of them failed. I mean, that's why it took me 8 years of trying to sell my art to go full time, because I was making all the same mistakes over and over and over again. I don't know how many shows that I signed up for that were like a first Friday or a final Friday art walk in a coffee shop or some business where I would hang my work, spend all this time, be there for an opening, and I'd sell like 2 prints or something. You know, I might make $100 if I was lucky the entire month in the show, but I just kept doing this month after month after month, because that's what all the other artists were doing in my area, and I just thought that's what you did. Not only was it a failure from a financial perspective, but it also really bothered me from a psychological perspective. It made me feel like my art wasn't worth anything. It made me look down on myself and think, oh, I'm just spending all this time trying to be an artist. I must suck at being an artist. My art isn't any good. That's why people aren't buying it. Why should I even try anymore? I always felt so down on myself. But then I wanted to keep making work because I always wanted to be an artist. I loved making art. It was the thing that was for me. I knew it was deep down inside, but I just never could get it to make me money. And it's because I wasn't pivoting quick enough. I wasn't recognizing what I was doing wrong in my business. And obviously it's wrong if you're doing a show and you only make $100. Quit doing that. Quit doing that right away. I mean, you might try it 2 or 3 times, but if you're only making $100 each time, something is wrong with this revenue stream, especially if it was the type of thing that was going on for an entire month. $100 a month is not justifiable for you to put your time in as an artist. The second thing I wish I'd done sooner is be able to judge not only when it was time to pivot, but when it was time to stick things out. And there would be more potential if I just tried harder and went all in on a thing. Because sometimes in your business, like when you're trying all these different things, you might see that something's working a little bit, but not very much. And so you put a lot more effort into it and then it goes nowhere. But then you try these other things and maybe they don't work at all. But some of the reasons why they didn't work at all might be you just didn't put enough effort into it. In my case, one example is when I first started my Etsy shop in 2016. I threw up 10 or 20 listings. I had some SEO on there and some photos, but I wasn't really trying very hard. I think my photos weren't that great. My descriptions weren't that great. I didn't have anybody coming to the shop to buy. I wasn't like sending people there from social media or anything. And even though back then Etsy wasn't nearly as saturated as it is right now, I just wasn't giving it the amount of effort I needed to be able to succeed on the platform. So I tried it for 3 months because that's how long I had the listings for when I paid for them. I didn't sell anything. And so then I just quit selling on there for a couple of years because I was like, well, Etsy, it's a waste of time. Just because I didn't put enough time into it to actually make it successful for myself. Because later in 2018 and 2019, when I started putting in the effort, I started making $1,000, $2,000, and then even $3,000 a month during the pandemic and the few years after that on my Etsy shop. So it was really good for me. But in 2016, when I started, I didn't know that it was going to be that good for me. I just put those listings up and said, it's a failure. I'm going to spend more time doing other things. Now this begs the question, how do you know as a beginner to selling your art if it's time to pivot or if it's time to actually try a little harder on a particular revenue stream? I think the first thing it comes down to really is the quality of your work. If you look at your work and you know it's really good, you're not just making up things, you're not just trying to be aspirational about it, but if you look at your work realistically and say, hey, I've been practicing for years, I am excellent at what I do, then it's probably not your artwork. Don't go back to practicing more for hundreds of hours to try to make your work better to then get it good enough to sell. I think the roadblock here is the revenue stream. And if you've tried a revenue stream for months, like 6 months, a year, haven't had any success, it's time to try something else. But you also have to evaluate how hard you tried, especially when you're selling online, because online takes about 10 times more effort than selling in person to make those sales and close the sales, at least from my experience, because it's so much easier to sell in person. You get to talk to the customer, you get to bond with them a little bit over your artwork, and then you can nudge them into a sale. But online, you're not doing that. You're trying to use your social media to bond with people and get them to like you and know you and trust you and all the things. But sometimes that falls flat because there's so much on social media, especially nowadays. There's just like videos everywhere. Artists making their work, talking about their passion with their art, trying to sell you something. And as a customer, you get tired of being sold to all the time. With AI creating even more competition in all of the marketplaces, it's harder than ever to sell your work online. So that's why I say 10 times more effort online is necessary. So if you've been trying to sell online and you're just kind of dabbling and you're not succeeding, then that's probably why. And if you don't want to spend all of that effort and you don't have time, then don't be disappointed when you fail at selling online, because it is hard work. It's not as easy as all the YouTubers try to make it seem like. It's so much easier to sell in person. And this brings us to number 3 of what I wish I'd done sooner in my art business, and it's selling in person at art fairs. Oh my gosh, I can't tell you how much this changed my business. It was the #1 best decision I made in all the years of my business. At my first show, I only made $500, and I didn't even break even when you considered all the supplies that I had to make for my booth. It actually took me a couple more shows down the road to break even on everything. But I never had made $500 in a single weekend doing anything in 8 years of trying to sell my art. So for me, this was like a huge win, and it was a signal. I knew that if I would do this, I would succeed. So I went all in. I tried everything I could to improve at every show. I upgraded my booth, and over the years got a really amazing looking booth. I have all of the pro level things to be able to sell my art at these in-person events, and it's been amazing. Selling my art at art fairs has allowed me to buy my own home. I mean, I'm still paying a mortgage, but I was able to make enough to buy my own home. Before that, I was renting and living in almost poverty. So it's allowed me to have an upper middle class income. Not only this, but it's enabled me to do whatever I want in my life. I mean, I do 10 to 12 art fairs a year, so that's 10 to 12 weekends a year. I make a full-time living just off of doing that. And then everything else I do in my business is just because I want to. So whenever I do commissions or try to sell online or make any paintings, it's because I want to. I'm making my living off of those art fairs. And looking back, I wish I had started selling at art fairs sooner, because I would have had so much more financial freedom and overall happiness in my life. Because now when I go to a show and I make $10,000 at the show from selling art prints of my paintings, I come home and I'm just like super excited about making more work. And all the compliments I get on my work at the shows. So all of the customers that are really good, happy, wonderful people, and they come in my booth and they support me, it just feeds my soul in ways that whenever I was selling at those coffee shops and failing each month and kept failing and failing, it shrunk me. It made me feel bad about myself. It made me feel horrible about my artwork. I go to the art fairs, I make lots of money, and I feel amazing. And so this is why, even past all of the money, it's the vibes. It's the thing that it gives you in your soul as an artist when you sell your work and you can profit from it and you can make a living from it. There's no other feeling like it. It's just the most amazing, best thing. And that's why I love being an artist. And I could just talk about why I love being an artist forever. But art fairs are the biggest part of it because they are, for me anyway, my income driver. Now, they might not be the path for you, especially if you hate selling your work in person, you hate talking to customers, but I love sharing my work with customers in person. And yeah, there's a lot of negative things that come along with art fairs. I'm not trying to paint this as a 100% perfect picture because there's a lot of things that suck, like the weather, and it's hard if it's hot outside. You feel like you might have heat strokes sometimes. If it's cold, you're like really freezing out there. There's shows that you don't make a lot of money, so it's not all perfect. But when you can have a reliable source of income, and then that can fuel the rest of your life to have an opening for all the creativity that you could ever want, I mean, yeah, it's about as good as it can get, in my opinion. The next thing I wish I'd done sooner was hire an art assistant. I gotta tell you, whenever I was trying to hire an assistant, I was so nervous because they were gonna have to come work at my house. So when I was starting my business of selling at art fairs, I realized that I needed help making prints. I needed help bagging them and just doing a lot of the things to be able to prepare for these shows, because it's a lot when you're selling 200 prints at a show to be able to print them and bag them and get everything ready, and then have more prints there in your booth than that. Because if you're selling 200, you need really about like 800 to have people choices to be able to look through to find what they want. And at the time I was struggling with tendonitis a lot in my hands, wrists, and arms. And so because of that, I couldn't do all of this repetitive motions of bagging. But I really was scared to hire someone. I didn't know about having them come to my home. I'd never heard of anyone hiring a person and had them work from their house. The whole thing just seemed weird. Like, how was I supposed to find this person? I didn't know any friends that could come work for me, or all of them had jobs. They didn't want to come work for me. And so I just really didn't know what to do. And for years, I just labored away at doing all of the print bagging myself, even though it was hurting me worse and making my tendonitis worse, because I was afraid to hire somebody. When I finally figured out how to hire someone and I had a good employee, man, did it make my life easier. My arms didn't hurt as much. I didn't have to worry about bagging all those prints. And now I have 2 assistants working for me to bag my prints and make my canvas prints. I print them all and varnish them myself, but I have them actually doing the canvas gallery wrapping, because again, that's really hard on my wrists and arms, and I don't need to put myself through that wear and tear. I need to save my arm for painting, which is the best use of it. And so if you know that you're at a time in your business where getting an assistant will help alleviate a situation like tendonitis, or just simply not having enough time to get everything done, then I would say don't let the nervousness about hiring your first employee get in the way, because it was a big help for me and I love having my assistants. They're amazing. The 5th thing I wish I'd done sooner was stop outsourcing my art prints. Now, I'd always made the smaller art prints myself ever since the first couple of years of trying to become an artist, trying to sell my work, because I realized that I just couldn't keep paying companies to make them for me. But if you see this printer behind me, it's my large format printer that prints up to 24 inches wide. That's how I make my canvas prints and how I print my bigger prints. Now, I didn't get this printer until 2017, and I wish I had gotten it so much sooner, because if you think about all of the canvas prints I'm making that I was outsourcing and paying 3 times as much money for, I would have had a lot more profit in my pocket if I would have got this printer then. But not only that, it gives me a lot more flexibility to be able to get the colors to look right on my canvas prints. And if I have the canvases hanging on the walls of my booth and they don't look the same colors as the prints in the print bin, customers can tell that sometimes. They're like, well, why does this look a little different? It's like, well, I had someone else print it for me and they didn't do the color matching very good. But whenever I started making them myself, although there was a learning curve on figuring out how to stretch the prints and how to do everything, but once I figured that out, I can make just as good, if not better quality gallery wraps than any of the places that I can outsource to. That's why I love making my work myself. If you find yourself in a similar situation where you're outsourcing all of your prints currently, but you're wanting to try to figure out how to cut your costs, be able to make the prints yourself, that way you have more of a profit margin in your business, I have a playlist you can watch right here. It gives you everything you need to know about making your own art prints step by step, and it's absolutely free. So definitely take advantage of that resource. All right, well, thank you so much for watching. I hope this helps. See you next time.